September 1st, 1985. The North Atlantic, 600 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland. A robotic submersible from the U.S. Navy moves slowly over a dark seafloor. Suddenly, the outline of a massive boiler appears on screen, buried in the mud. Dr. Robert Ballard realizes he has found the wreck of the Titanic 73 years after it sank. The ship had struck an iceberg on April 15th, 1912, splitting in two before disappearing beneath the waves. More than 1,500 people died that night, their names carved into memorials across 4 continents. For decades, the wreck's location remained completely unknown, becoming a legend that researchers and adventurers raced to find, while dozens of expeditions failed to find any trace of it. Then it emerged that Ballard's public mission was a cover story. The U.S. Navy was actually searching for two sunken nuclear submarines, the Thresher and the Scorpion, and the Titanic was discovered almost by accident in the mission's final days. But finding the site wasn't the end of the story. It was the start of a 40-year argument over who has the right to approach the wreck, who has the right to salvage it, and who has the right to photograph it and sell those photos to the world. The wreck rests at a depth of 3,800 meters, a depth that makes any direct human operation nearly impossible. The pressure at that depth is about 400 times the pressure at the surface, enough to crush a human body in a fraction of a second. That's why no human has ever descended to the wreck except inside small submersibles built specifically to withstand that crushing pressure, and even those submersibles only get a few hours down there and back. Even before the wreck was found, people were already dreaming of raising it. In the 1970s, a British businessman named Douglas Woolley filed a patent to raise the hull by filling it with millions of ping pong balls to increase its buoyancy. The idea sounded like science fiction, and it never happened, but it revealed just how obsessed people were with bringing the ship back to the surface. Then there's the matter of scale. The Titanic's wreckage spans nearly 4 square kilometers of seafloor, split between the bow section and the stern section, with a massive debris field scattered between them, holding shoes, luggage, and furniture preserved in astonishing condition. Raising something this size from that depth would require equipment that was never designed for a mission like this, at a cost estimated in the hundreds of millions of dollars, with no guarantee of success. And the metal itself isn't what it used to be. Bacteria called rusticles have been feeding on the iron for decades, gradually turning the structure into fragile, crumbling rust. Scientists estimate that large sections of the ship could collapse entirely within the coming decades, and much of its shape may disappear completely by the year 2100. Any attempt to raise the wreck now could cause it to shatter completely during the operation itself, turning it into shapeless debris. Then comes the legal dimension, the most complicated part of all. An American company called RMS Titanic Incorporated holds exclusive salvage rights to the site since 1994, but those rights are limited to recovering small scattered artifacts, not the main body of the ship itself. In 2012, on the 100th anniversary of the sinking, the UNESCO Convention on the Protection of Underwater Cultural Heritage came into force, granting the wreck protection as a historic site of human value. Then, in 2020, the United States and Britain signed a bilateral agreement, treating the wreck as a mass grave, not an ordinary sunken ship that can be freely handled. This means any major salvage or intervention now requires complex international approvals that could take years to obtain. Many victims' families and heritage experts oppose the idea of raising it altogether, believing the ocean floor has become a grave that deserves respect, not a construction site or a spectacle. Even tourist expeditions to the site have sparked years of controversy, especially after the Titan submersible disaster in June 2023, when a tourist submersible imploded on its way down to the wreck, killing 5 people in an instant. The incident reignited the debate over who has the right to approach this site and at what cost, and it halted, for a time, all talk of any future plan to raise the wreck. Between the metal's growing fragility, the astronomical cost of any recovery effort, the tangled international legal obstacles, and the moral objections to disturbing what many call a grave for 1,500 people, the Titanic remains right where it is more than a century later. A world visited more often by robots than by humans, and more often by cameras than by hands. The wreck will keep dissolving slowly in the dark until one day it disappears completely, than by hands. The wreck will keep dissolving slowly in the dark until one day it disappears.